Welcome in, everyone. My name is Robbie. I've been a profitable sports bettor for over 2 years now, and today we're going to talk about the brand new feature that Outlier just launched, and it is their weighted Devig system. If that sounds complex to you, you've never heard of Devig, then watch this video, and I'm going to do my best to explain it as simply as possible. But essentially, this new feature is going to allow us to be much more confident in the sports bets that we are placing, get much better value, and make more profits long term. All right, I just pulled up the Outlier Pro plan. You can sign up for a 7-day free trial below. We're going to break down this weighted Devig system, and then I'm going to show you a strategy that I use for finding NBA player props and NBA main lines. So let's first open up this filters tab here, and we're going to go to the Devig book. And before we even get into this weighted system, I do want to just talk about what Devig means. So basically, there are sharp books or books that are sharper in certain markets. We can take their prices and compare their prices to other books and find outliers in the market. But before you do that, you have to remove what we call the VIG from the sportsbooks line. So typically you see a book priced at minus 110 on each side. That extra, minus 10 cents on both sides is the VIG. So we have to remove that VIG and then find value compared to that line. So essentially what we're doing is we're getting a list of books that we want to remove the VIG from and then compare their lines to the rest of the market. Typically, Pinnacle is one of the sharpest books when it comes to main lines, so I keep them in the required spot. But essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to select the Devig books that we need required for them to have odds to Devig from, and then we also have an optional section. So when it comes to, we'll start with NBA player props. This is how I'm going to attack it. I'm going to actually require no books to be in this Devig, but what we're going to do instead is require 2 of 3. So we're going to use Pinnacle, which is pretty sharp with NBA player props, FanDuel, who are also really sharp with NBA player props, and then we're going to scroll down to Bet Online, who is also pretty sharp with NBA player props. So we're going to be using those 3 books to find value across these books we did not select. So first thing that we get to do down here is select the minimum number of books that we want to produce a fair value line and to find an edge. So I have these 3 books selected as optional, and I'm just going to have my minimum books selected to 2. So that way, if 2 of these 3 books I selected have odds for a certain line, then we can use both of those books together to find value. The second thing I want to do is create a uniformed weight. So we don't want to think about this as percentages. It's not 50% Pinnacle odds, 50% FanDuel odds, 50% Bet Online odds. You want to think of it as parts. So 50% or 50 parts Pinnacle, 50 parts FanDuel, 50 parts Bet Online. So each would be, 1/3. So we could go, I think FanDuel is slightly sharper for player props. So I will actually put this up to, let's just say 75. And then the rest will be Pinnacle and Bet Online. So now we can search results for this criteria that we just set. First thing I want to do is I said no player props, so let's look at player props. I usually put this range to plus 200. Bet types, we're looking player props, and the league is the NBA. Because different books are sharper in certain markets, so the Devig books will change depending on what you're trying to find. So if you're using this Devig method, I recommend finding NBA player props with it. So let's look at what we have for results. So Cam Thompson is the first one popping up here, and it's flagging this play on FanDuel because Pinnacle and Bet Online are 2 of our required books. And we do think that FanDuel is usually a little bit sharper. So we want to make sure that they're truly an outlier to be placing this bet. And I think they are here. So Bet Online has this priced at plus 113. Pinnacle has it at plus 110. And we're getting a lot of value on FanDuel plus 132. The closest other book is DraftKings at plus 120, but even the other books, Caesars plus 104, it's really good value on FanDuel right now. So this is a bet that I would most likely take because we have 2 sharper books finding value on FanDuel. So let's see if there's one that pops up with maybe 3 book Devig, which would be ideal. So this is another 2 book Devig with Bet Online and Pinnacle, 2 of our books. So Pinnacle has minus 109, and Bet Online has minus 102, and DraftKings is offering plus 120. So really good difference there and great price. That's how I find profitable sports bets. If we want to go back and be very selective, we can now click all of these books as required. So this will give you probably the best possible plays. And if you want to save a filter for this setup where we require Pinnacle, FanDuel, and Bet Online, then I would save this filter and then have it set up to send you notifications, because the plays that we see here are going to be great value plays. And we're seeing a lot of like Bet365 here. Aaron Neesmith under 1.5 threes. And this is the three-way DVig. So Pinnacle's in this DVig, FanDuel's in this DVig, and BetOnline is. You're getting plus 140 on Bet365. Pinnacle's only offering plus 123. FanDuel plus 112. BetOnline plus 19. You can see that this has clear value plus 140 on BetOnline. So that's how I would go about player props. You can mess around with which books are required. Like even if you want to find more options, because if you're requiring all 3 books, then the plays that show up are going to be slim, but they're going to be great plays. So if you want to set up something to notify you, this is the kind of setup that I would have. But if you are, you've got an hour of free time and you want to kind of poke through these bets a little bit, I would switch everything to optional and just require the 2 books. Now, when it comes to betting NBA regular props, NBA main lines, I would honestly just stick to the regular Pinnacle DVig, straight Pinnacle DVig. They're sharper than any of these retail books on like spreads, totals, and money lines. So I really wouldn't worry about working in other books. Obviously, if you can DVig with more books and find value, then you can be more confident in that line. So if you wanted to require Pinnacle, but you wanted to have DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars as optional and require, let's say, 2 books now because we need Pinnacle and we need the optional book, then we can do that. And then custom weight, Pinnacle would be sharper for this stuff. So I would go we'll go 75 parts there and we'll go 50, 50, 50 on the other ones. And then we could see these results we'd be looking for game lines, not player props. So there are 2 results here, which would probably be great plays. Second quarter under, so this is a DVig with Pinnacle, which is our required book, and DraftKings, which was our optional book. So this has only been a feature for a little bit over a week now. So there's still a little bit of tinkering with it, but I think those options that I just laid out are probably the safest and best options to find really good value plays. When you're first starting off sport betting or positive EV betting, I recommend being more on the safer side of things. So requiring more books, making sure there are multiple books in your DVig is probably the way to go if you're going to start, because that'll pretty much ensure that you're finding true value on your play. So I hope this was really helpful. If you guys have any questions, I stream for Outlier on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and you can also join me in the Outlier Discord. I'm in there. You can ask me questions, so let me know. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.